Ladies and gentlemen, I have composed for you a video montage of just why the woke are about to get swept out of office. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So what I've done today, President Biden said something while he was visiting Seattle that made me think, hey, Biden is absolutely correct. Biden has finally said something that I fully agree with. Now, our reasons for saying it are completely different. Our motivations are completely different. But he was right in saying what he said. Why don't you guys take a look at this video compilation? Show you.
Crisis talks with the United States after the Progressive Squad forced House Democratic leadership to cut $1 billion in funding for Israel's Iron Dome from a short-term funding bill passed to avoid a government shutdown. The Iron Dome is a purely defensive system that Israel uses to protect its civilians against airborne missiles, including the thousands that Hamas launched at the country earlier this year.
Of releasing into society in 2020 you endorsed the BREATHE Act, which is a series of proposals to transform America's criminal justice system and create, quote, a roadmap for prison abolition. The BREATHE Act proposes emptying federal detention facilities within 10 years. To what extent have you wrestled with any potential downsides of releasing into society every single person who's currently in a federal prison?
Yeah, I think that everyone's like, oh my God, we're going to just release everybody. That's not what
that says.
But did you see how many people are mentally ill that are in prison right now?
No, I know, but the act that you endorsed actually says release everyone in 10 years.
But think about it. Who are releasing?
But there are like human traffickers, child sex. So, but you're saying, do you mean that you don't actually support that? Because you endorsed the bill.
No, I endorsed the BREATHE Act and looking at the policies and how we incarcerate. Absolutely.
But it says in there.
But you cannot just blankly say, oh, look, she wants. That's not what I'm.
But that's like in plain text.
But what I'm saying is, look at who's in prison now. No, look at the folks that are mentally ill, that have substance abuse problems.
But I'm not disagreeing with you that there are people who.
Yeah, but then why aren't you asking me about them? You're asking me.
Was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
In recent weeks over your push to defund the police, campaign records show that you spent roughly $70,000 on private security, and some critics say that move is hypocritical. What's your response to those critics?
They would rather I die? You would rather me die? Is that what you want to see? You want to see me die? You know, because that could be the alternative. So either I spent $70,000 on private security over the last few months, and I'm here standing now and able to speak, able to help save 11 million people from being evicted, or I could possibly have a death attempt on my life. And we're also talking about the same exact people who say horrible things about me, who lie to build up their base. And then because they lie about me, I receive death threats. Now, they don't address the fact that I receive death threats after they go on air and say horrible things about me. But then they want to say, oh, but she needs private security. I have private security because my body is worth being on this planet right now. I have private security because the white supremacist, racist narrative that they drive into this country, the fact that they don't care that this black woman that has put her life on the line, they can't match my energy, first of all. This black woman who puts her life on the line, they don't care that I could be taken out of here. They actually probably are okay with that. But this is the thing. I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen.
I have to be careful about politics because of the Hatch police that are waiting outside in the bushes somewhere. I'm like going to get emotional about this issue because it's horrible. But you know, it's like kids who are bullied, and like all these leaders are taking steps to hurt them and hurt their lives.
U.S. gas price has reached a national average of $4 a gallon, the highest in over a decade, as the Biden administration now considers banning Russian oil.
We are now talking to our European partners and allies to look in a coordinated way at the prospect of banning the import of Russian oil while making sure that there is still an appropriate supply of oil on world markets. That's a very...
You know, this is a city where we are proud to, you know, talk about, how you can live in a comfortable setting and not be harassed.
It's fired up the Sunshine State's leader to fire back.
We need to be focusing on teaching kids to read and to write and math and science and understanding American history and having civics so that they understand the Constitution and they understand that our rights come from God, not from government.
A bit here, though, Jen, because look, I understand that it's an emotionally fraught issue. I understand that some of the supporters of the bill have used inflammatory language, saying that opponents of the bill want to sexualize children or groom children. On the other hand, don't parents have a right to have concern? I mean, we're talking specifically here about teaching about sex in kindergarten through third grade. I have to say, as a parent, I would have problems with that.
But the law is not about teaching sex education. It's about teaching about gender identity. And so what do you do if a parent or a kid, should I say, a kid in one of these elementary schools says, what about Sally? Sally has two moms.
Ask your parents.
I'm not sure if I'm a girl or a boy.
Ask your parents.
These are kids who are experiencing, these moments in their lives. I also think that there is not a big record of there being either sex education or extensive gender identity education in these schools. And this is creating a problem or a political cudgel about an issue that I don't think exists.
There's one other topic I wanted to talk to you about, but let me just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Actually, no Republicans. There's some. They get up to as many as 7 or 8 will vote. This ain't your father's Republican Party. Not a joke. All you got to do is look what is being played this morning about the tape that was released. Anyway, but all kidding aside, this is a MAGA party now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just shown you why I believe the Democrats are going to get primaried, like Joe Biden said. Yeah, you're going to get primaried. And why would you get primaried? Because you're not doing what the American people want. We want safety, security. We want to be able to survive and thrive financially. We want our kids protected. We don't want our kids being groomed when they're in elementary school. If you want to look, Mr. Biden, to somebody who's doing the right thing, look to Ron DeSantis in Florida and just do what he's doing. I've told you this before, you idiot. So, you come out, say, you're damn right, we're going to take your AR-15s. Meanwhile, you're shipping AR-15s to your business partners in Ukraine so you could try to save your family's income. Well, let's just be honest about it. Let's just get real about it. You see Jan Psaki there breaking down, crying, oh my God, they're Florida, oh my God, these laws are destroying transgenders. No, it's not. And gay is not even in the bill. I don't want if I had one, elementary school kid, any adult, having to talk with them about whether they're transgendered, about sex, sexuality, anything else. If my kids have a question as to why Bobby has 2 mothers, My kid can talk to me, not some kindergarten teacher who just got out of freaking school and has no damn idea what she's talking about. Instead, she's going to teach us left-wing propaganda. And ask yourself this question. Why are they so upset that Ron DeSantis passed that bill? Why? That Florida passed that bill. Why did they get so upset when Texas passes our abortion bill? You know why? Because they're living immoral lives and they can't stand anybody who's living any sort of moral life. The woke has no morals at all. They're completely out of line with what the American people want. Think about this, right? Biden is saying if Republicans vote with Democrats, they're going to get primaried. Why is that? And if they're voting with Democrats and they're voting for these transgender laws, you have to say all these names, laws, and they're anti-Second Amendment. They deserve to get primary because most of America isn't going for it. Almost 70% of Democrats agree with the Florida parental rights law. Think about that. Not only are Republicans going to get primaried, Democrats are going to get primaried. You're not in line. You're not in step with the American people. And you're about to pay for it. We're tired of your weak-ass propaganda. We're tired of your lies. We're tired of your fake crying. As you saw there, AOC crying because Israel didn't get an Iron Dome, which, as you heard the announcer say, is a purely defensive weapon. But she's going to cry because Israel got funding for it. You heard the squad. You heard Cori Bush. My life is important and we got to fund police. We got to abolish the police. Which means she doesn't care about your life. So, do you really not think you're going to get primaried? I think this whole thing is a house of cards. And somebody just pulled the bottom card. And the whole thing's going to fall. This is really ridiculous. So, yes, Democrats are about the woke. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. You can be Republican and still be woke. I saw this Republican governor the other day. Oh, my pronouns are he, him, whatever. You know what my pronoun is? He. I'm a fucking man. It's that fucking simple. Let's get it, people. Let's get it right. I'm tired of all this woke bullshit and nonsense. You saw there, what was the other one? The squad. The anti-Semites. They're very anti-Semitic and they hate Israel and they've proven it time and time again. You saw Jen Psaki crying over Florida's bill. You saw Jen Psaki defending grown-ups talking to 6, 7, and 8, and 9-year-old kids about sexuality. Maybe somebody should investigate her. You saw their response on border control. It's fucking run amok down here, I can tell you right now. And it's only going to get to a certain point. This is Texas. We tend to start shooting back at a certain point. Somebody might want to get down here and close down this border. That's all I'm saying. Did you even know they caught 42 terrorists coming through the border this year? 42 people on the terror watch list. Now keep in mind, 1,000 to 1,500 people every day evade Border Patrol. So how many terrorists do you think are in the country right now? And you know what? When something happens, they're going to say, oh, gun control. They're not really going to fix the problem. That's why you're going to lose. Americans want a solution to the problem. Gas is higher than it's ever been. You're not solving it. Now Biden's like, oh, I'm going to open back up. Shut the fuck up. You caused this with your woke ideologies, listening to your woke leftists. You caused this. You think people are just going to forget that in a couple of months? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to put that out there. I don't want to make this video too long. But like, subscribe, share, and as always, especially in these days and times, keep your powder dry and do what you got to do.